Hey warriors, we've got a great creativity session for you today. We're gonna start with a writing prompt, work through a little creativity boosting yoga flow, and then we're gonna create. So whenever you're ready, hop on your mat and let's fight for your creativity. Today's prompt is, "Welcome to this new earth." She motioned behind her and I saw. Hey warriors, in today's rut busting yoga flow, we're gonna start standing. Most of the practice will be standing. We won't really be on our knees or anything, so if you don't have a mat, don't worry about it. Just make sure you have a stable, even surface you can practice on. So I'm gonna start facing you. But you can start at the top of your mat if you'd like, wherever feels comfortable. So we're gonna start in a nice, strong mountain pose, pressing all four corners of the feet into the mat or the ground, and really just focusing on cultivating or bringing energy up from the feet through the body, and just as it moves upward, we're just standing stronger, standing taller, till it reaches the top of our head, and we're maybe reaching the top of our head up toward the ceiling, maybe pretending there's an invisible string, pulling the shoulders down away from the ears and the shoulder blades together, almost like there's an invisible pencil between our shoulder blades that we're trying to keep there, pulling the belly button back toward the spine. Just finding a nice head over heart, heart over pelvis alignment with nice length in the spine. Just pausing here for a moment to come into the breath, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Letting whatever we've been worrying about throughout the day just melt away with each breath. And just being here on the mat with ourselves and our creativity for this precious amount of time. Inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth, sigh it out. We'll just start to move a little bit, however you feel like moving. Really, maybe we just kind of start to sway, to swing. Sometimes some things are going to feel better for you depending on what you've been doing throughout the day. If you've already been moving, you might not feel very stiff, so this might feel just really good and fun. But if you've if you're just getting up or you've been at a desk all day, you might want to maybe clasp the hands behind the back and lift the arms away from the body, opening the shoulders, opening the chest, and still breathing, still keeping that belly button pulled toward the spine to engage the core. That's really helpful here, because we might tend to, if we're pulling backwards, we might tend to let our butt follow our hands, but that counterbalance is really important here. So pulling the pelvis forward, but the hands backwards, or back, just in opposite directions. Can release the hands, maybe swing them back and forth. So a lot of the times I give you things to do here. We'll reach up overhead and we'll kind of stretch back and forth, maybe grabbing the wrists, and that, and if we want to follow those, that's great. And I think sometimes it's easier to not have to think about it and just have someone tell you what to do, but also I want to give you that kind of freedom to just cultivate any movement here that feels good for you, because depending on, again, like I said, what you've been doing, you might need something different. So even just bending the knees. We're gonna fold forward here in a minute, so we don't need to do that. Maybe just standing and letting the right hand drop toward the right foot, because that can actually feel really good if you press that left foot into the mat. Sorry, my foot actually was starting to come out like this, so you might have a natural inclination to stand a certain way. When I wasn't really paying attention, my toes started to open a little bit like that, so just being aware of keeping your feet hip width apart and the toes pointing forward, creating that alignment. And so we were just here. And whatever you do, just counter it on the other side. This is actually a really good motion to just kind of do throughout the day. You can just kind of go back and forth. I feel this kind of in my lower back. It feels really good. And then we'll move, if you're not already there, to the top of the mat. We'll start to move through some half sun salutations. So we'll fold. So we'll inhale, reach the arms up toward the sky. And exhale, swipe the hands down through center, bending at the waist, folding forward, leading with the chin and the chest, keeping the knees as bent as you need. Dropping the head, keeping the shoulders back, letting the hands fall to the ground or wherever they fall. Again, those knees can be really, really bent here. If this is your first type of this movement for the day. And inhale and exhale. We'll inhale, half flat back, either bringing your hands to the shins or to the thighs, creating a 7 shape with the body. Keeping, again, those shoulders away from the ears. And exhale back into our fold. On the next inhale, we'll reach the arms up, bending the knees to come up. Straightening through the waist, maybe looking up toward the hands. And exhale back down into our mountain. And we'll repeat that. Inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, swipe down the middle to fold, bending at the waist. Keeping, maybe imagining lifting the tailbone up toward the sky. Inhale, half flat back. Exhale, fold. And inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, bringing the hands through center and down into mountain. And from here, we're going to step into our first pose of the day, of the practice. So we're going to plant. I'm trying to think what would be easier for you to see. Yeah, so we'll start by planting the left foot. And we're going to bring that right foot back behind us toward the back of the mat. Stepping back into a crescent lunge. So we're going to keep that left knee bent over that left ankle. Might take a second to kind of find your stability. And that back foot, we're just up on our toes. The heel is up off the ground, but pushing back toward the back of the mat to just really increase the stretch. You can kind of find the right distance that feels good to you. Maybe keeping the hands on the waist for stability until you find your balance. Just adjusting as needed. Again, bringing that belly button back toward the spine. And that's going to actually, in this pose, lift that pelvis up just a little bit. And you'll feel that stretch increase. And then when you're ready, if you're ready, bringing the hands up. Or you can just leave them on the waist. Inhale and exhale, maybe settling into the pose, maybe pressing that heel back a little more, increasing the stretch. And then we'll go ahead and bring the hands to heart center. We'll inhale, and on the exhale, we're just going to twist at the waist, bringing that right elbow toward that right knee. It may not reach, it may not touch, it may not get past it. A lot of, eventually the idea is to bring the elbow down to the other side of the waist. I'm not there yet either, so trying to keep our hips kind of in the same position, but just bending at the waist, keeping the hands at heart center. So it's gonna feel like your hands are gonna wanna start coming this way. Just keeping them at heart center. Finding your balance. It's okay if you stumble or start to wobble. Just come back. Inhale and exhale. Next inhale, we'll come back to center. And exhale, we'll step into warrior two. So all you have to do is move that back foot, press it down to the ground, and point the toes toward the long side of the mat. That left leg can kind of stay where it is unless you need to adjust your stance. Reaching the arms out to the front and back of the mat. Finding your alignment. Bringing that left hip crease up and in. Keeping that left knee over that left ankle. We're not really talking about coming too far forward. That's okay. But more just being careful that it's not coming to the right or to the left. Mine tends to come to the right. So just keeping that over the left ankle. We're here in warrior two, gazing out over that left hand. And maybe we'll reverse the warrior, or you can just find stillness where you are. Dropping the right hand down that back leg. Bending slightly at the waist, reaching the left arm up and back. And exhale. Back to warrior two. And then we'll do reverse the warrior again, reaching the left arm up and back, bending at the waist. And then on the exhale, we'll cartwheel the hands forward toward the front of the mat, bringing them down to the either side of that left foot, turning that back leg, back foot, so your toes are now pointing toward the front of the mat like they were in crescent. Pause here in runner's lunge for just a second. Maybe you even want to inhale and bring your hands up off the mat, shine the heart forward. And then we'll bring that right foot up to meet the left. Releasing into our fold. Maybe your knees are a little straighter. Shoulders are still back. Inhale, half flat back. Exhale, fold. And inhale, reach for the sky. Exhale, bring the hands down through center, into mountain. And we'll do it again on the other side. So we're gonna plant that right foot. Or what? Just do the opposite of whatever leg you did before if you didn't do the same one as me. Drop that right foot, or press that right foot into the mat, lifting that left foot and just sliding it toward the back of the mat, coming into our crescent, keeping that back heel up, just kind of balancing on the toes, bending that front knee over that front ankle, shining the hip points forward so they're even, kind of like headlights, shining toward the front of the mat, adjusting your stance until you have a little stability. And then inhale, reach for the sky if you'd like, or leave your hands on your hips. Pull the belly button back toward the spine if you've kind of lost that center engagement. And breathe. And then we're gonna go into our twist. So we'll inhale, reach the arms up a little higher. And exhale, bring the hands to heart center, coming into that twist on the other side. So that left elbow is going toward that right knee. The hips are remaining shining forward. Hands are at heart center, not coming kind of to the right or to the left. And just bending, twisting at the waist. Keeping the shoulders open, the heart open. Inhale. And exhale back to center. Inhale, reach through the fingertips. And exhale, opening up into warrior two. So we're just basically moving that back foot from heel up, toes forward, to heel down, entire foot down, toes pointing toward that long edge of the mat. On the other side, right knee over right ankle, not coming too far forward or back to avoid torquing the knee. Lifting that right hip up, gazing out over that right hand. Making sure that back knee is not locked. Mine was just a little locked there. We'll inhale to reverse the warrior, dropping that left hand down that back leg. Reaching right arm up and back toward the back of the mat. Exhale back to warrior two. Inhale, reverse the warrior. And this time we'll exhale to cartwheel the hands forward, turning that back foot again so the toes are pointed to the front of the mat. Inhale, just rock on that back leg. And exhale, bring the left foot up to meet the right. Into our fold. Inhale, half flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, reach for the sky. Straightening. Exhale, dropping the hands through center. Down into our mountain pose. Taking a second to find your breath. Letting it settle. And we're not going to spend too long resting. We're going to take this energy to our creative projects that we're working on. We're going to take that ideas maybe that have started flowing from the prompt. We're going to sit and create. You don't need to turn the video off. We'll play music. We'll have a space designated, a space and time for you to create. So thank you so much for practicing with me today, warriors. Namaste. Now go fight for your creativity. Welcome to your creativity session. Don't worry about pausing or turning off the video. We'll play some music to keep your creativity flowing as you work. Challenge yourself to keep going until the video ends. You got this. And if you appreciate these videos, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Today's prompt is, welcome to this new earth. She motioned behind her, and I saw Time's up, warriors. Great job. I hope this rut-busting flow and creativity session was helpful. Remember, no matter how much or how little you created in this session, you still made the time and showed up. If you want to make these sessions a regular thing, make sure to subscribe and hit the little notification bell to get notified whenever I have a new video. Have a wonderful day, warriors.